Hi, my name is Frances Flynn Thorsen, and I'm spending lots of time these days helping real estate agents understand the changes in the HUD Homes arena so they can navigate this market and make some money there. HUD Homes is an $8 billion market that will be paying over $400 million commission dollars. What about you? Are you having challenges in this market? Lots of agents tell me they are very, very frustrated working with short sales and equally frustrated working with banks and bank-owned properties. Agents are uncertain about transaction time frames, getting responses from lenders, and getting to the settlement table. The uncertainty connected with many of these transactions is gruesome, and sometimes agents work for months on a deal just to see it fall apart and have to start from scratch again. A lot of agents are also equally unhappy with HUD Homes these days. You know, the HUD Homes process underwent drastic changes a few months ago. Myself, I like most of the changes, but I understand where they're coming from. I've watched HUD Homes market for more than 20 years. I remember many years ago when I started as an agent in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, that HUD Homes represented a very special segment of the real estate market. HUD Homes were a good deal then, and they're a good deal now. And in those days, there were very few real estate agents in that market, and almost no realtors working in the HUD Homes market. HUD Homes were not listed in the Realtor Multiple Listing Services, and in my market area in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, there were only two agencies that had any of the listings. One was in Allentown and one was in Easton. Neither broker was a member of the Realtor Board, and neither was a member of the Multiple Listing Service. Both those offices, nonetheless, were high-producing agencies, and they made most of their money in the government homes arena in HUD sales and VA home sales. Those guys were making good, solid, mid to high six-figure incomes in the late 80s and the early 90s just selling government-owned homes. There were not many, as I say, there were not many people on the game. There were about 10 agents in the entire market that really did an appreciable volume of business in the HUD sales arena. And again, those days, there were 2,000 agents in the market. And again, 10 agents doing most of it. HUD Homes were not listed online. All of the HUD Homes in the entire state of Pennsylvania were listed once a week in the Philadelphia Inquirer. Every Wednesday morning, in fact, I used to walk from my office to a little grocery store on the corner and buy a copy of the Inquirer so I could see what was on the market that week. Some weeks there were 2 properties listed in my market area, and sometimes there were a dozen or more. The ad listed the property address and the sales price, and that was it. If I wanted to show the property, I had to call for an appointment and drive to the listing office to pick up a key. If the office was in Easton, I had to drive 10 miles in each direction for the key to pick it up, 10 miles in each direction to drop it off, and that was a lot of driving. If my buyer wanted the property, if he was interested, he put down a 10% deposit, and if his bid was accepted, he had 30 days to settle. No mortgage contingency, there was no home inspection, and utility turn on? Are you kidding? No way. If my buyer didn't settle in 30 days, he could kiss his deposit goodbye. Over the years, the Board of Realtors, the local Board of Realtors, actually got a key. That was neat because the board was right down the street from our office, and I didn't have to drive 10 miles to pick up the key, so that was neat. The board was closed on the weekends, so weekend showings weren't so easy. They were next to impossible. I typed my HUD contracts on a 5-part carbon form with an electric typewriter. None of this online stuff. No word processors. It was a milestone in our market area when HUD bought special lock boxes that opened with a little key that looked like a little escape key. That was huge. That was party time. Every registered HUD brokerage got a single little escape key that agents could share. And I worked in a tiny little office, and I was the only agent there who sold HUD Homes, so when we got that key, I felt like I died and went to heaven. The next big thing that happened in the HUD market was FHA financing and inspections. When Henry Cisneros became Secretary of HUD, things changed almost overnight. All of a sudden, owner-occupants got priority in the bidding process. The 10% down payment rule went away. 30-day close or lose your money became a thing of the past. I was very happy. Most of my business was in the first-time homebuyer market. 80% of my deals were at FHA financing. So, HUD Homes coming on the market with those changes opened up a whole new world to me. Realtors were still not playing in the market big time those days. There were still just a few of us working in that market. Competition was keen because the agents who were in the market knew what they were doing. They knew the rules of the road. They knew how to write a contract that got settled. They had their financing ducks in a row. And even though there were just a few of us, it was tough competition. You didn't see many deals falling through in those days. That didn't start happening until the listings went online. When the listings went online, it was a sign of HUD taking its first steps into the internet age, and that was good. But the downside was that lots of agents started to engage in the market without knowing how it worked, and deals started to fall through one after another. That's kind of like what's happening now. So hang with me a little bit, and we'll talk about a way to get to the other side of that. Anyway, a few years later, Al Gore came up with this new idea about reinventing government and making it smaller, and HUD started to outsource its business. They started to outsource to contractors that were called M&M contractors, marketing and maintenance contractors. What a mess that was initially. In the Middle Atlantic region, it was a total nightmare. We were used to dealing directly with HUD's Philadelphia Home Ownership Center, and they always did a great job. So dealing with a new round of contractors was awful. And when there was a contractor change at one point, the contractor lost all of the pending HUD contracts, hundreds and hundreds. It was horrible. It took them months and months to square that away. One of the things I did, some years later in 2006 was to write a couple of books about HUD homes. I wrote the very first books about HUD homes, one for consumers and one for real estate agents. They were the first books anyone ever wrote. So let's fast forward to today. Let's fast forward to October of 2010. HUD launches a M&M 3 contractor program and changes all the rules again. Now deals are falling through, nobody knows what they're doing. New owner-occupant periods, new management structure, and there are more HUD homes than ever. In case you haven't noticed, there have been a few foreclosures round and about. And HUD launches this new program with 55,000 properties in inventory. Once again, nobody knows what the heck they're doing. I'm hearing from listing agents and selling agents all over the country, and everyone is hearing different stories about how to do things. Who can advertise HUD homes? Who can't advertise HUD homes? Who can be a listing broker? Who can't be a local listing broker? There's a whole new round of HUD homes myths in the making. Well, one of the first things I did was rewrite my books, my consumer book and my book for real estate agents. This time they're on Amazon, and they're sold on Kindles and iPads and Nooks and every e-reader on the planet. The books are up to date with all the latest information about the new M&M 3 contractor program, and they debunk a lot of the myths in the marketplace. The next thing I did was create an online course for real estate agents and a new certification program called Government Home Sales Professional, or GHSP. Agents who finish this course wear the GHSP, and even more important, they go into the HUD homes market with the knowledge and the tools they need to get the job done. I'm working with Denise Lonis of the Lonis Group, a phenomenal real estate marketer and real estate coach who has been active in the HUD homes market for many years, and I'm blessed for that connection. The online course is located at realtown.com on a state-of-the-art learning management platform. It's a very cool platform. There's a live wiki, a super glossary, and students have access to the course as well as all the new updates for the next 12 months, or for a full 12 months from the time they join. We even have a mini course if you want to check it out before you sign up for the whole course. We're getting some great reviews from students, and then in the next few weeks, keep your ears open because we are going to have some announcements that frankly are firsts in the real estate industry. GHSP is on fire. Lots of our students that never even sold HUD homes are making some great pitches for HUD listings in their market areas. By the end of the year, there will be tens of thousands of agents in this program, and things are going to change. Like I said, it's a new world in the HUD homes market. You don't have to be a large brokerage to get a job as a HUD homes local listing broker. Lots of small agencies, lots of small brokerages are listing HUD homes. There's no longer an exclusive long-term contract. Selling brokers now get 3%. That's less than the 5% they used to get, and some agents aren't happy about that. However, listing brokers used to get peanuts, small fixed fees that were frankly insulting. Now listing brokers earn up to 3% commission, and they do more than just input listings into the multiple listing service. Now they are tasked with training other agents in their market area. It's their job to help other agents, teach them how the process works, and hold their hand after a bid is accepted. People are still sharing myths and information about HUD homes advertising. I'm hearing about local listing brokers who are teaching selling agents they're not allowed to advertise HUD homes. They're telling those agents that only listing brokers can advertise HUD homes. That is not true. HUD never changed the rules about HUD homes advertising. Are there guidelines? Of course. We share all the guidelines in writing in the course. HUD does not want you to use the word foreclosure when you advertise. Remember, it's the bank who holds the title to the note, or who holds the note who actually forecloses. HUD takes it back later. The rules and guidelines about advertising HUD homes go to the heart of how to do it right, not don't do it. The course and the books talk about the do's and the don'ts of HUD home sales. And there's more. On top of the books and the course, Denise Lonis and I have a new membership and coaching program called Club HUD, and Denise and I are working with agents to connect the dots when they want to become local listing brokers, or when they were already local listing brokers and they want to expand their market share. You know, some agents may not want to list HUD homes. Heck, I mean, you can advertise HUD homes without all the listing management folder also. What the heck? Go for it. You know, market the dickens out of HUD homes and establish yourself with the knowledge, the tools, the resources, and the help when you need it. And right now we are offering all paid students a 60-day trial of Club HUD, and during that time they can attend all the weekly webcasts, and they have access to all the recordings and other resources, including Q&As with me and Denise and other experts. It's wonderful. The course is available for the incredibly low price of $97. That buys you the online course, about 6 or 7 hours, with everything you need to know about selling HUD homes. When you complete the course, you will be a certified government home sale professional. You get 3 PowerPoint presentations, 2 for consumers and 1 to teach other real estate agents about HUD homes. You also get digital downloads to both books and a 60-day trial to Club HUD. There is nothing else like it in the business, in the real estate industry, nothing comprehensive about HUD homes, and nothing like it at this price. The reason for that is simple. Denise and I and the folks at Realtown are making a commitment to the real estate market. We are making a commitment to real estate agents, and we are making a commitment to HUD to deliver a program that is going to make a serious impact in the HUD homes market across the country. By the end of this year, there will be tens of thousands of real estate agents who will be certified government home sale professionals, and they are going to turn around the HUD market. Mark my words. I will be happy to welcome you to the government home sale professional community, and I will be thrilled to help you chart your success. Make a commitment to yourself. That's a commitment to your buyers and a commitment to the market. You won't be sorry, I promise you that. It's very, very easy. There's a big button right below the video, and that click could be the best click you make this year. Try it. I'll see you online.